I am Maxim Jago. I'm a film director, writer-director, and a futurist. I consult on future and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, education, and creativity. And I'm the founder and director of the Creativity Conference, which is an international conference exploring creativity, creative thinking, realization, reflection, and the meaning of creative thinking. At the Creativity Conference, I have a very unusual brief for our speakers. I ask my speakers never to speak about technology, techniques, workflows, business skills, branding, business development, legal issues, social issues, marketing, or anything on a numbered list of steps. None of those things at the Creativity Conference. Instead, I ask them to speak about their joy and what it is that inspires them so profoundly that they have no choice but to create something truly original. And I asked them to explain how they produce this magic in practical, actionable, specific terms. I want to know that we can have a wisdom exchange so that people listening to you become greater than they were before they heard you. They say the difference between the teacher and the student is that the teacher has failed more times than the student has tried. And I love this idea of acknowledging that success really looks like failure, 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 success. And so that means when you're at the stage of failing, you're actually in the process of succeeding. And what inspired me was my favorite book in the world is Illusions by Richard Bach. And it's a beautiful book. I recommend it to everybody. It's got a blue feather on the cover. I spent 40 years now studying every spiritual system I could find. I've never found a better system, a better approach than the one that Richard Bach describes in this absolutely beautiful book. And there's this attitude in the book to filmmaking where he says the reason we incarnate is like the reason we go to see a film. You go to learn and to have fun. So let's learn and have fun.
That's amazing. Okay. Is there, with all the things that you do, is there something that you like most, or do you love it all? And do you consider yourself like a Renaissance man in that sense? Like, so all faces make the full man?
I think I've been accused of being something like people use this word polymath or visionary or Renaissance man. I've been accused of that many times.
That's not an accusation, it's a compliment.
Well, it's, I think everyone can do this stuff. It's just a question of whether you're prepared to do the work. My father used to say yes first, find out how later. He never said I would get enough sleep. He became a famous DJ in London. This is a true story. My father became a DJ in London because a friend said, do you know how to DJ? This was in the 60s. And he said, yeah, of course I do. And then he came home and asked my mother, what's a DJ? He'd never heard of it. And so they found out, they went to the local market, they got him a cowboy hat, this is in Britain, in London, got him a cowboy hat, got him a big beaded necklace and a flowery shirt. And he bought the top 10 singles, vinyl. He went to the thing, he played the top 10, everybody thought it was fantastic. And then for 3 months there were posters around East London saying, one night only, and he was going to perform. I've had some wild experiences by saying yes, but it's important to acknowledge who you truly are, what you can do. Don't fake it. The real people in any given industry instantly know if you're faking it. They usually won't tell you out of politeness, but they will immediately just write you off. They know you're faking it, always. If they let you in, it's because they're trying to be helpful. But if you're honest from the start and you say, this is what I am, this is what I think I can do, this is what I think I need to learn, you will be amazed by how much people will really bend over backwards to help you. They want you to succeed. It's our nature to want to help people. So based on that, I've said yes to a lot of things, and I've done a lot of things. I've traveled a lot, I've lived in different countries. I think if you have a passion for learning, you inevitably develop a passion for teaching. And I'm just prepared to do the work, I think a polymath is just somebody who was ready to do the work more than once. And you learn and you grow the whole time. I have a passion for understanding how the universe works. I began a meditation practice when I was 11 and set out to understand how the universe works. So far, I've learned I don't understand it. But here's my philosophy. Ultimately, it's impossible to know what is intrinsically meaningful. Maybe nothing is. Perhaps the goal in life is to successfully be authentic. The question is, be authentic as what? So the first thing you have to do is learn who and what you are. And then every day, strive to be that. And my best advice, for what it's worth, is every now and then, just breathe in, breathe out, and ask yourself, is this me? So we were going to speak about the pajama party. Well, the truth is, I am blessed with just extraordinary friends all over the world. It's such an honor to have the friends that I have. And I'm British. You know, when you meet famous people, it's illegal in Britain to be impressed by famous people. So I'm blessed with extraordinary friends, and I wanted an excuse to get them all in the room together so that we could see what happens. This alchemical transformation, this synthesis. And so I came up with the idea of the Creativity Conference as, honestly, it was an excuse. It was a way to justify people coming together in one place. And the part of the inspiration, I was going to say, you know, Richard Bach wrote Illusions, and before that he wrote Jonathan Livingston Seagull, which is a very famous, popular book. And he said in an interview that he really hated writing Jonathan Livingston Seagull, that it was so much work, it was like bleeding onto the page, and he swore he would never write another word. He was done with writing. He's a pilot, he's not going to write books anymore. And he described that he would be lying in his bed at night, and the idea for the second book, Illusions, my favorite book in the world, would tear open his bedroom door, pull the roof off of his bedroom, tear the walls down, grab him in his bed and throw him to the floor and demand to be written. And so he wrote Illusions, which has changed the lives of millions, literally tens of millions of people. And so what is that, right? What is that makes you be a causal agent? In metaphysics, we talk about causality, and we talk about the possibility of being an uncaused cause. What is that? A true originator, a true original starting point for change in the universe. So I put together the Creativity Conference, and we've hosted 11. We're hosting 3 more this year at least. And the big one is in Iceland. It's 3 days. We've got some phenomenal speakers. We have the father of digital art coming. It's just going to be a gathering of minds, a meeting of minds. There's presentations by all of the speakers, but the real magic of the experience is going to be that you step away from your day-to-day world and you come to the magical landscape of Iceland. The entire country is a volcano. There's something mystical about the landscape, and you'll be there with all of these like-minded creatives exploring what it means to be alive, right? Creativity is life. We live in a world where being is doing. And so here you can connect with people that want to grow and change and hopefully collaborate. Maybe you'll meet the next people that you create something with. And it's www.creativityconference.is. All the information is there.
What you said about the illusions writer reminds me of Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. It made him survive the concentration camps to write that book.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so you host the most famous, most talked about party at Cannes called the PJ Party. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. My friend Dave DeBoard and I, he's another filmmaker, writer, director, producer. He and I were thinking one day about the amount of exclusivity at the Cannes Film Festival. And we came up with this idea to run the best party in Cannes and to make it one where we don't care who comes. So we created the Cannes Pajama Party. And the rule is we don't care who you are, everybody's welcome, but you can only come in if you're wearing pajamas or a onesie. And no sexy stuff, it's a very family-friendly event. We never run out of champagne, that's the rule. We have a red carpet that goes up the hill. Getty Images always does the photography, and everyone gets their Getty Images photographed with the watermark. It feels really fancy and cool. In your pajamas, in front of the step and repeat. It's all hot snacks, cocktails in a beautiful Art Nouveau villa. Vogue magazine said it was the best party in Cannes. And this year we have a presence in Variety during the festival in the Cannes Daily. We're going to be there announcing the party and celebrating our sponsors and partners, and it's all free to attend. Everybody posts their photo in their PJs and Instagram, and all of the supermarkets in Cannes sell out of pajamas. And the only way you can get a ticket is to enter the lottery. Sponsors get some tickets, but we only give them a handful. Most of the tickets go into the lottery. The website is www.thepj.party, and we don't care who you are. If you're a human being, you have a story to tell, and you're welcome. We'd love to hear your story. And I run the lottery myself. It truly is random. Dave and I give out 10 or 15 tickets each, and that's to very close friends and family that might beat us up if we don't give them a ticket. And we run the lottery 2 days before the party. We actually don't know who's coming until 2 days before, and most of the people coming, we don't know them anyway, because all we've got is your name. We don't do all these questionnaires or anything like that. If you've got a ticket, you're welcome. And every year we have a film theme. Last year we had Austin Powers, which was phenomenal. It was ridiculous. The year before that we had Meet Me in Las Vegas. The year before that it was The Man with the Golden Gun. We always have a film themed name. So this year we're doing The Greatest Showman, but the party's called The Greatest Pajamas. And the setting is beautiful. We dress it in the style of the film. It's almost like immersive theater. You get to feel like you're participating. And it's free. We always support a charity. We pick a different charity every year, and we invite the charity. They can sell raffle tickets. We don't touch money. They can sell raffle tickets and so on. And it's a real presence. But what's special about it is that because you're in your pajamas, your armor's off, and you're making genuine human connections. And going to film festivals can be a little bit lonely. Festivals and conferences, if you go on your own, it can be a little bit like you don't know where to go, you don't know who to talk to. We host the party at the first Thursday of the festival. It's the 14th this year, and you've got friends for the rest of the festival. We're also hosting panels on Saturday the 16th in the afternoon about filmmaking, film finance, and we have a dinner for filmmakers that we host as well. But the Cannes Pajama Party is the famous one.
Why is it so important to attend festivals, for filmmakers to attend festivals like South by, like Cannes, from the big to the small? Why is it so important to have a presence in all of these festivals?
Okay. The thing about attending in-person events, like festivals, conferences, you name it, is simply that nothing compares ever to an in-person physical presence with another person. There just isn't anything like it. The nuance of communication, the depth of it, the sense of connection cannot be compared. If I am on Zoom calls all the time, and texting and phone calls, and all of that is valid, all of that is good. I'm not saying don't do it, but it cannot compare to that instantaneous energetic recognition when you meet a stranger and both of you just know we're going to be friends. We're probably going to be collaborators. Actually, I have a hot tip that when you meet somebody at a networking event, it can be difficult to know who to spend time with, and there's all these rules about can you help each other, and don't approach networking seeking to gain by it. It's totally the wrong vibe, and it creeps people out. It doesn't work. It's just uncomfortable for everybody.
What's your name? What can I get from you?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like, and you get this thing that I'm sure everybody watching this would have witnessed. You're at an event, you're talking to somebody, and they're doing this. And they're like, yeah, right, I love films. Mm-hmm. And they're looking for somebody more interesting to talk to. Just go away. So here's my hot tip. This really works. Unless you're a psychopath, in which case, good luck. Try to find love in your own way. When you meet somebody, you will experience one of two physiological reactions to their presence. You're either going to feel like you want to be physically near them, or you're going to feel like you want to be physically far away from them. Listen to that feeling. It doesn't matter how impressive they are or how unimpressive they are. It doesn't matter how expensive their clothes are or their watch, and it certainly doesn't matter how impressive their words are. In my experience, people that say impressive things, that does not correlate to anything coming out of the meeting. If you meet somebody wearing dowdy clothes and they don't really say they're working on much stuff, they could be a billionaire. So just start with how you feel about being near them. And if you feel like you want to be near them, let the conversation flow. Maybe they'll be a future friend. Maybe they'll be a collaborator. In my experience, it's very commonly the case that I feel like I want to be far away from somebody, but they're saying exactly the right things. They're saying, I'm going to get you money, I'm going to introduce you to famous people, I'm going to give you experience, I'm going to connect up your project and package everything for you, all the stuff you came to the event for. What you'll find is that very often those people will capture all of your time. You won't get to talk to anybody else. So this is gold. This is how to get out of a conversation at a networking event. You say to them, hey, listen, this has been so great to meet you. I'm really excited about where the future is for us. We've already exchanged are you going to exchange contact details? We've already exchanged our contact details. I'm looking forward to following up, but I don't want to monopolize your time at this event. I know that you're going to want to speak to other people, and so I'm going to leave you now and let you meet with other people. I'm going to mingle and look around, and I'm excited to follow up after the event. Very often they'll say, no, it's totally fine. And you can just say, you're being gracious, thank you, I'm going to walk around and I look forward to following up later. But the thing about being at these events is, for me personally, and I feel awful saying this because I give keynotes all the time and presentations and panels and interviews and so on. I'm not usually at events for the panels, the keynotes, the screenings. I'm really at events for the chance encounters. There'll be somebody that's a friend of somebody, you'll be in line to get a coffee or whatever, you'll be walking out of a venue. I mean, I've met investors that legitimately explored projects with me because we walked out of a venue at the same time and they were saying, hey, where are you guys going? And I said, I'm going to do this thing. And they said, can you get me in? And I used my Jedi mind powers to get them in, and then we were fast friends, and now we're looking at billion-dollar investments in who knows what. So always be open to meeting people and just get yourself into those situations. And the last thing I would say about this is, when you go to events where there's a lot of people around, a lot of people have social anxiety, a lot of people are nervous, they feel a little bit embarrassed about saying hello. Just know that every single person in that room wishes you would say hello to them. That's what they're there for. It's what you're there for. So be unafraid. If you see a group of people that look interesting and in your heart, your stomach, your guts, you feel like, I feel like I'd enjoy talking to them, literally walk up to them and say, do you mind if I crash your conversation? I've done it countless times. Every single time. You just say,
that's how we met. I crashed your conversation.
Right? And you could just say, your conversation looks far more interesting than the voice in my head talking to myself. Or, you seem interesting, can I talk to you? Every single time. They will say, yeah, absolutely. And now you've got a new group of friends. Life is complicated, and perhaps by design. You're not going to take control of life. I heard somebody say this recently, life was never meant to be controlled, it's a wave that you're meant to ride. Seek to be authentic, be honest and transparent with people. Know that if you love something, 1 million, maybe 1 billion people will love it. Maybe 8 billion people will love it. Don't be afraid to share your passion. And if you don't like something, that's okay too. Just be yourself, you will find your tribe. Britain was prehistorically a tribal nation. And the thing that's special about tribes is that you can be born into a tribe, but you can also join one. And tribes can be identified by anything from your interest in knitting, your passion to film, or just the fact that you feel like family. There is only one human race. We're all related, we're all family. And thankfully, most people like watching movies. Doesn't matter where you're from, everybody has the same passions, they just express in different ways.
That's amazing. Well, that's a great note to end it on. Do you want to add anything? Any final words?
Any final words? Love is a better guide. That's it.
I love that. Cheers.
Thank you.